Hey everybody, this is Don with the vlog of many things for our Tuesday lunch chat. And with me to my right is Mr. Stephen Lake.
Hey,
And
Steve.
down below is Mr. AWOL. We like to commonly refer to him, also known as Tom Geralt. Tom, how you doing? It's been a long time since you've been on video.
Well, no, been on video. We finally worked the crap
Lunch
out.
lunch chat, you've made a couple of them.
Yeah.
But
So yeah.
but hopefully you get your technical issues worked out. Did you feed the squirrels for Thursday nights?
Yeah. Well, partly it's been technical problems for 6 months, and partly the presence of a toddler in the house.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The tyranny of a toddler.
The toddler tyranny. I had
Toddler tyranny.
I got
Yes.
4 daughters under my belt. I know all about the toddler tyranny.
But the state decided the toddler was going back to biological,
Sadly,
over the objections of
Everyone.
her lawyer,
wiser minds.
pediatrician. Yeah, a lot of people were like, no, no, no. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's been tough. I was actually thinking about doing a vlog on foster fatherhood,
Gotcha.
but I hadn't done it yet because I just didn't want to say anything on film and then have that used against us.
Yeah. Matt,
Because
how you doing?
when they
You never know.
say they're gonna take away the parental rights, they also are obligated to find somebody to be a permanent placement. So they came to us and said, "Would you adopt her?" And well, yeah, of course. She's family. You know, who wouldn't? I can't imagine people who wouldn't. Well, I can imagine Voldemort wouldn't, but I just can't imagine normal people going, no, put the kid in the gutter. You know, I just can't imagine that. So of course we said, but the minute we said yes, now it's like, oh, you guys are biased. We can't trust anything you say. I was like, what the hell? You know,
Well, that's the problem with the system is that, by nature, because the problem is you could be biased. And the law always kind of goes over to, worst case scenario. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's a rough experience. So I thought about doing this foster fatherhood, vlog, but
I'd wait on it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I might journal so I can then later do it, but it's been a rough patch. Rough.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So
yeah.
So that's basically my story for the past year.
Yeah, 2 years.
Well, 2 years we had the toddler.
Yeah. So other than that, any new plans cropping up or anything like that?
I'm gonna go get a job that I can walk to from the house, walk a mile, not so I can walk to it, but so I can walk home if the wife's got the car.
Gotcha.
But so, just doing that,
Anything with tabletop tap room in the near future?
We're losing the $800 a month that you get from the Department of Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
Because we no longer have the toddler. Yeah. I'm not sure we want to take in another kiddo right away.
Yeah. How about tabletop tap room? Any plans for that or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I've got to get with you and we got to work on a website.
Okay.
And, I've been distracted with since you and Eric were like, oh yeah, these gems on Gemini. And so I've been talking to Gemini about the gems and was like, oh, this is really cool. And so I've been working on setting up a Gemini to act as a game master for Star Frontiers.
Oh, cool.
Because one of the things I've noticed with ChatGTP, I was trying to do this with one of the chat bots, 3 years ago.
Yeah, you were messing with that. You were actually sharing it with me a little bit.
And the problem was the chat bot kept reaching back to 5e BS, and and it would pull in 5e stuff. Or D20 stuff from D20 sources, and it would tell it, this is Star Frontier setting, and it would just pull in Star Wars. So it was like, it was very frustrating, and I kind of reached a point where I was like, the hell with this. I'm sick of this. That's not what I want to play. I want to play, in this, and supposedly. with these gems, when if you clean up your documents, um, you can upload up to 20
Well, wait a
documents.
minute. I have a suggestion for you. You can talk to Whitman, the premier expert on AI. And for a convenient $79.95, he can give you his custom-made program that
Well,
programs AI, i.e., a freaking PDF.
I talk to Gemini or ChatGTP, about problems with what I'm doing, and I found that they're pretty knowledgeable as long as you're not asking them to write the great American novel. They can, or like I was having a problem with baking. Ask the AI. And so I said, well, this could be the problem, this could be the problem, this could be the problem, and here's some steps you could do. And I was like, well, geez, thank you.
You see, you and Eric embrace AI far more than I do.
Well, Tammy actually embraces it more than everybody.
Yeah.
She's really big in getting legal advice and all kinds of different advice from AI.
My wife's school has made the teachers sign a certification that says if they're caught using AI for lesson plans or such, they waive their termination rights and it's an instant termination.
Really? That's interesting, because when I was working at the middle school, one of the things they had me do as a resource person, as an Ed Tech 3, is I would use this one website, and I would take the lesson plan and dump it in there, and the website would kick out stuff. Could be questions, review questions, puzzle, a game, that type of thing. And so one of the things I was responsible to do was I had kids who had an IEP, and part of that is like they might need notes to be made for them. Like they had an inability to take proper notes. And so one of the things I did as an educational support person was I took notes for them. Mm-hmm. And then I would share it through Google Drive.
But the problem with that is, and this is kind of like my wife's school's mentality about it is, especially for lesson plans, is that, like my wife does developmental kindergarten, and under the state of Michigan, her lesson plans have to be very specifically tailored because it's not preschool. It's because what she does is she has like nonverbal autistic kids in her class. She has kids with special needs. So what she has to do is she has to kind of cater her lesson plans that kind of target everybody at once.
Right.
But it's really weird how she has to do them.
I can't speak to what the teachers were doing, but I do know that the assistant principal came to me and said, this is what we want you to do. And so I was just doing it all the time. And you actually did a logo for me called Masters of the Material.
Yes.
Had like a castle on it.
Yep.
And so I just I would put that on the top of my documents, will you be a master? I was trying to challenge them and, to be a master of the material. And so I was trying to make it fun. And I was using the AI through that one website.
No.
To just take real quick, and it would spit out review questions, that sort of thing.
Matt Sherman says, my department at work had us take basic AI certification course. Matt, if you can't say it, I respect that, but do you mind me asking, what do you do for a living? And Steve, what about you? You work for an IT company. How does your company view AI?
Oh, they're very much an all AI thing. It just everything that they can put in the hands and lap of AI, they do it.
Gotcha.
Like absolutely sold out for the stuff because apparently it's cheaper than paying humans. But
yep, and you're froze, Steve, on your screen
again.
There you go. Now you're back. Now you're back. Now you're back.
It likes to do that.
But, it's not that I don't trust AI. I've played with it. Eric uses it, like he says, for his, I think it's a really good idea for vloggers and such, because it's kind of a good tool for that. Mm-hmm. The big thing with me is just, especially role-playing game. Matt works for a school district, internal auditing within a large school district. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But But also, just going to let you know, we did our final walkthrough yesterday for WizardCon at the venue. Operational and financial match says. Okay.
So you were saying something about not being able to run an auction at WizardCon.
Yeah. Basically, found out yesterday that the township that we're in, Michigan has a law about auctioneers. It's an old antiquated law from like 18 something.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out yesterday that the township that we're in requires a permit, which isn't hard to get. It's easy. It's $75. It's cheap,
Right.
but you have to go in front of the council, and the council meets the first of every month.
Oh,
And I found out about this standing in the middle of the flipping room yesterday when the GM was in there. But other than that, everything's in line. Everything's golden. They
Well, that's interesting that they require a license or certification or whatever.
it's
for
a
that.
permit.
Permit. Okay.
Yep.
It's interesting they require a permit because state of Michigan deregulated auctioneers. So good 8-10
No,
years ago.
actually, you still have to have a license to run an auction, a public auction. It requires a license with the state of Michigan. I actually checked yesterday.
Oh,
Because
that's probably never going to go away because that's a little bit of tax money coming in for the town.
Well, what they're doing is because what I did is when I called the state of Michigan, I asked the lady, she was very helpful. I was like, can you tell me why this law is this license is needed? And she said, it's designed to regulate people who run illegal auctions. And
So
it's
if you're
also
running
a
an
way,
illegal auction, they can shut you down.
well, also think of it this way. Let's say I'm doing an auction and I sell $25,000 worth of goods and my fee is $10,000 or $5,000 for all of it. I can report to the IRS if it's cash, I only made $2,500. So with a license that's trackable and all of that, then it's a little bit different. But
tax
she
money.
was really nice. What's that?
Tax money.
Well, welcome
Still
to
tax
Michigan.
money,
Yep.
and it's never going to go away. But so you're not doing a auction at WizardCon this year.
No, I actually talked to Jim Kitchen last night. Me and Jim had a really cool conversation. I'm going to be calling him back Thursday. We're going to be going over maybe some alternative ideas. There's not much we can do there otherwise. We can't do panels because there's just no location for panels within there. There's like a conference room, which we're going to use for specialized games.
Right.
Jim Kitchen has been stellar, by the way. He was stellar last night on the phone. He totally understood. He got it. Jim Kitchen is a really good guy, a solid guy.
Yeah.
And that's not just bullshit. That's true. I mean, he's really a solid guy. And so what we're doing is we're just going to continue. We're just going to add to the raffle. Like I'm going to be putting a couple. Like I was going to put some of my custom model props in the auction. Nope, they're going to go for a raffle. And the proceeds from the raffle are going to go to the Tim Cass scholarship thing for the Adobe certifications. So we'll do that, and I'm going to have some interesting props. So
Cool.
I got. We're going to have it there.
R2.
So we'll have R2 there, and let's see, we're going to have pulse rifles from Aliens, smart rifles from Aliens. We're going to have a 2.5-foot alien drop ship, studio scale Y-wing, 4-foot long blockade runner from Star Wars there. So some cool model props, weapons, some stuff like that.
Cool.
You got 501st coming in too, right?
What's that?
You got 501st coming in too, right?
We have droid people coming in. They're not
Droid
501st. They're actually members of a local droid building club out of Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay.
We also have a group of people come in called Dystopia Rising. They dress up in cosplay for like steampunk and stuff like that, and they interact with people.
Huh.
So kind of some fun stuff happening. Matt says I'll get into town about 5:30 on Thursday. Awesome. I'll buy you a beer. Be nice to meet you finally, Matt. We're excited for it. I mean, we're starting to get a little, amped up for it, and you always get a little, I get a little nervous before the con because I want it to go well. But our first con last year, we got a lot of good feedback. People seem to enjoy themselves. It's a little bit bigger this year. So the way I look at it is if we can grow every year a little bit, that's a positive thing.
Nice.
You know? So I wish you and Tammy could have made it, but I get it. You had the toddler and you just didn't know.
Well,
what was going on.
with everything coming to a head, we just had to say, Don,
Totally
sorry.
respected it. Totally respected it. Now, listen, sorry, you get no freaking excuses next year.
We'll go over there and drag him here.
Did you see the ad I sent you by Instant Messenger? It was an ad for a Star Wars cup with Darth Vader, and then it says Guinness, and it says "Come over to the dark side."
Oh, I have to check that out. I'll probably end up picking one up. I love that type of stuff.
Well, I know you like Guinness, and so I thought, that's right up Don's alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, like I said, WizardCon, we should be pretty good to go. The venue is the venue wants to keep us for next year. Going to have the full restaurant opened up it opens up at a certain time, and then we've got the bar will be open. They're kind of switching a little bit with the bar. The way they're going to handle the bar, and I kind of don't blame them, is they said, normally the bar closes at 10 o'clock. But the bartender said, as long as the drinks are flowing, the tips are flowing, she's staying there. She'll stay. By Michigan law, they have to close at 2 a.m.
Right.
So,
right.
like
1,
she 2 a.m. A lot of states.
Yep. But she said, as long as people are wanting liquor poured and beer poured, she's happy to stay.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't blame them. I mean, they can't promise to keep the bar open till 1 a.m. by the par chance that 1 or 2 people want to buy a Bud Light.
Right. Yeah, I remember being at TotalCon and hitting the bar in the evening around 6 o'clock, and there was quite a crowd of gamers in there, shooting the breeze and having a few drinks.
Yeah, and that's what they want to see. I mean, and like I said, originally, and this is one of the crazy things that I ran into is that Nat, who is the current event coordinator, young guy, really, really good at what he does. Really nice guy. Has been a lot of help. Like as an example, I did not broadcast this publicly because it got fixed, but he called me up about 3 weeks ago and said, we got a problem. And I thought he said the main ballroom was shut down to construction, like no WizardCon. And I was already in my car. I was like, I'll be there in about 1 minute. I hung up on him. I was pissed. And I pulled in and I'm like, hi, want to explain to me what's going on? He's like, conference room, they're doing remodeling. They need the conference room to store stuff in it. And I was like, no. Nope. And he's like, what? I said, find a closet. Find an empty room.
Pull an empty room and stuff in there.
So he says, let me make some phone calls. And he called me like 2 hours later and says, hey, I got my GM involved. She was right on it. Don't worry about it.
Sure.
And I was like, okay. Because see, they're doing right now like a $5 million remodel expansion. And so like one of the floors is closed, but you'll never know it while you're there. There's no noise or no disruptions. If they
had had that $5 million remodel in place when you signed the contract, they did.
They did. But what the plan was is they were kind of going like from the top down.
Right.
And the plan was to have everything done by February. And they had some issues with the township and permits. Imagine that, and so they ended up, it's still under construction, but it's really weird. Cause I asked him yesterday, I'm like, you guys like have an entire floor tore up? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't even notice any noise or nothing. She goes, yeah, everything's parked. And we have a special area in the back where they have their vehicles. And we have a special elevator in the other side of the hotel that they're using to haul stuff up. Matt Sherman says, how are game signups looking? Okay, we just have relegated. We cannot get the page working. So what we're going to do is we're going to go a little old school on this. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it today, but definitely by close of day tomorrow, Matt, I'm going to be posting PDFs of the current games on the Facebook page. And I'll message you the PDFs also, Matt, directly. And people can then say, I want to sign up for this, sign up for that. If they don't want to do that, we're going to have boards up at WizardCon and people can sign up at WizardCon. But like all the VIP people that sign up for VIP tickets, we're going to be sending them PDFs of it, and they're going to have first dibs. So probably to correct that, VIP people, I'll probably be sending them PDFs tomorrow, and that's tomorrow is Wednesday. And then on Friday is when I'll post publicly. So they'll have about 36, 48 hours to have the PDFs in their hands. And I'll just go ahead and send you sign up also, Matt, on the list of them. So, because like as an example, Ignatius from Fight On, he wants to add some games. We've got Roger Rebez wants to add some games from Sunshine New York Con. But yeah, I appreciate it, Matt. We posted it on our Facebook, the WizardCon Facebook, and we had a couple people not pleased. And it's not our fault. We tried to do this, but like I'm going to give Jim Kitchen credit. Like Jim Kitchen said last night on the phone to me, he's like, it's the dragon chasing its tail, and I've just been dealing with some health issues and such, and I think what's been going on is I'm just chasing an endless dragon's tail. So we'll just be with an organizational suite of software next year that's working fully. That's good. And that way we're not trying to develop something while we got our website up and the convention going. Because I don't, the thing is, as a convention organizer, I want it to be very easy for the customers. I want my convention goers to be able to sign up for their games, to know what they're going to play, and such. And, but there comes a time when you got to say, you know what, it's just not going to get it working. So we're just going to go ahead and do a fix. So a couple people have posted the positive. I think we have two people I think are not happy, but I've messaged them privately and said, look, I'm sorry. It's just the way this has to go. So, it's the battles that you run when you run a con, you got to be able to think on your feet. And, it's like last year, when problems crop up, you got to be able to run quick. And I got we have a couple more volunteers this year than we did last year. Scott Mulder is going to be on my side again. Thank you, Scott. We've got another gentleman that I'll be reaching out today to. He wants to volunteer. He wants to game, but he wants to volunteer also. So I'm going to offer him some perks for volunteering, helping us out and that type of stuff. So other than that, how are you two doing on this sunny Saturday for Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, it's nice and warm out there. Oh, and Tom, I haven't shown this to you, but I showed it to Don. They had a gentleman who runs a channel called Outdoors with Eric, and evidently a bunch of people down in Marshall, where my dad lives, they knew about the situation because he's in bad health and his wife Judy's in bad health, and because of that they've had trouble keeping up with the lawn. Paul can't, Paul's busy too. Paul's Judy's son. He's busy too. So he hasn't been able to keep up with it. Dad hasn't been in good health and stuff. So basically their yard turned into a gigantic jungle. And this Eric guy heard about it, and he literally came out and brought some volunteers with him, and they completely redid the whole upper yard. They're going to come back again and do the whole lower yard. And then they also they collected a bunch of trash, because I was down there yesterday, and I mean, this stuff's just stacked up against the barn, and they're gonna
they also took out tree stumps,
and they did a bunch of stuff. And they did. I thought it was funny because one of the guys accidentally, because of course I don't blame him, because he doesn't realize where the property line is, but he went over into the neighbor's yard and trimmed a tree out that was growing up next to the propane tank. But yeah, the video, if you go over there if you go to YouTube and search for Outdoors with Eric, it's the one, ironically enough, he misnamed it, and YouTube evidently doesn't want to let him correct that. Because it talks about one of his volunteers getting bit by a snake. It was while he was out picking up sticks or something. A garter snake decided it wanted to go latch onto his finger, and and then there's a whole bunch of drama with that and stuff. But other than that, they spend the whole video just going through there and cleaning up the place, and making the yard look nice and everything. So they did a lot of really nice stuff.
Yeah. What this guy does, Tom, is he has a lawn care business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he kind of periodically chooses people to help out for free. And he's actually pretty smart because, you know, you do video. I mean, he has like 500,000 subs.
Mm-hmm.
My
And-
wife watches one of these guys that has a lawn care, you know, and they'll just, hey, they find out some shut-in, some senior citizen, and, you know, and this, you know, the city has, like, if you don't clean up your lawn, you know, we're gonna do this, and so he'll just go and do it, and then the police get called on him because you can't do that. This, you know, because now you're taken away from the city. The city's
See,
gonna be able to level fines, and
that pisses me off.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because the thing is, you know, first of all, whatever city that is, and I've seen a couple of videos like that. What is any of their freaking business who mows the lawn?
Shouldn't be.
They want the lawn mowed. They want the property.
What do you
taken
care if
of.
I'm doing it for free?
Yeah, I'm doing something that you sure as hell as the township wouldn't, because they'll charge the poor guy $500 to do it and put it on his property taxes. So if he doesn't pay, they can take his house.
Right.
You know, type bullshit.
Quick
Yeah, I
claim.
get that kind of stuff. It's like really annoys the living shit out of me. You know, but
Well,
yeah,
I
he
think
did
what
a
they
really
want
nice
is,
job.
I think what the township wants is they want the all of the money from the fines, and like you were saying, the overpriced lawn mowing and stuff like that. And if somebody comes in and volunteers, then they lose all that money.
Well, but like I was saying before, one of the things that cities do is if you don't pay it, and they don't expect you to pay it because you're elderly, you're a senior citizen, they tack it on your property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And as a special assessment paid. And then if you don't pay your property taxes, they take your house, your property.
Yeah,
It's a gimmick.
it's a scam.
Yep. But
I remember during I'm going to name a name that some people don't like. Trump's first go around as president. There was we're going to reduce taxes, and so I remember thinking, oh, that's great. We're going to get a tax break, and immediately the city was like, oh yeah, we're going to go up on property taxes, and I was like, well, that sucked.
that's what a lot of townships did, you know, and you know, property taxes to begin with. The thing that bugged me, it's like me and my wife. Me and my wife had a 55-acre farm out in Bellevue. And what they did to us is they and because it was considered, you know, of the 55 acres, 52 of it was farm, which
Right.
it was, and farmland. The way Michigan does it is they do the normal assessment, 55 acres. This is the ACV of your property. Okay, fine. But then you have a farmland assessment by acre assessed on top of that. Our property taxes combined was $12,000 a year.
Wow.
So we were like, you know what? Enough of this. So I made the mistake is I resided the house, put new windows. You know, Steve,
Mhm.
resided the house, put windows, put a beautiful deck on. I did a big patio, hand done and all that. Oh, the county assessor drove by one time, seen that shit, and went ahead and raised our property taxes to $15,000 a year for a 55-acre farm. And we tried like leasing the farmland out to my wife's cousin for corn, and what he's paying us didn't even cover it. So we just got to the point we just sold the property. It was like, you know what, you know, having to save $1,200 a month just to give to the county and state. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, and then you had that hypercar, and it was trying to.
oh
steal
yeah,
it.
on the border land. This is another one. This is another one. Steve knows about this.
Mhm.
So, okay, first, and I got the pictures on my Facebook, so my friends can see it if they search deep enough. So, I find out one day we have a plot of marijuana growing on our property, just conveniently on the property line with footprints in the dirt. You know, plowed dirt, you know, that goes to that person's house. So I call the state police. State police can't get out there because they don't got a truck. So I'm hauling state troopers in the back of my old red pickup truck out onto, you know, we collected all the dope and everything and got it in the car and drove it back. And so when we sold the property, the lady did a dispute on the sale, claiming that the property line wasn't proper. So I mean, it's just, you know, it's just these people are just nuts. Matt says Florida is in process of eliminating property taxes that don't serve as educate. Yes, I believe in that. I think that I think all property owners should pay a fee, like I believe in a tax for first responders, education, that type of thing, but reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable.
And
And go ahead.
government is never going to be reasonable, at least not under our definition. They're always going to be reasonable under their definition.
Well, Michigan has that push right now. They have a push to eliminate property taxes. And the argument is what about education and EMS and fire and, first responders? And the guy running for governor who wants to eliminate them simply said, well, then they can do fundraisers. And it's like, you're an idiot. You're a flipping idiot.
You also have to realize that, like, if a school district has its organic budget of, say, $1 million, they're also getting like $1 million from the federal government.
Right.
Well, not all the time. And see, this is the kicker, because under the Trump administration, and I'm just stating facts, is education funding has been cut drastically. My wife's school got affected drastically by it. And, you have administrations that are very anti-First Start, and stuff like that. And things like First Start help, especially my wife's grade level, kindergarten, pre-kindergarten and such. So, and that's not a political statement. I'm just saying in general, that's just a generalized fact that, nobody likes taxes. I don't like taxes, but taxes reasonable, I'll use the word, are a necessary evil if you want to call 911 and have grandpa picked up off the floor who's in cardiac arrest, or if you want your child to get free lunch. But
you don't want your house to burn down to the ground.
Yeah, can you imagine calling my house is on fire? Sorry, we don't have the funding. We don't have any fire or people here. But one thing good about our governor, and her name's Whitmer, and she actually,
we've heard of her.
Yep. Oh yeah, everybody's heard of Whitmer. You either love her or hate her. I get it. We'll take the politics out of this, but
she's made national news.
Oh yeah. But the thing about Whitmer is, one thing that's positive about her is she kind of early on seen, like, as an example, when Trump was running at first, he was saying, I'm going to be cutting funding to certain programs. And one of the fundings he wanted to cut funding to was school lunches, part of this broad program. Not school lunches. It was a broad program which would have gave school lunches. So what she did is she reallocated funds from casinos that their income was coming in from, because Michigan has a lot of Indian-based casinos.
Mm-hmm.
And she allocated it now. So when that program was terminated, schools like my wife's and such could still feed kids free lunch and breakfast. So, and yeah, I'm a little bit biased because my wife is a teacher, but I think, free lunches for kids, feeding kids is kind of a basic. And the problem is, I know people say, well, that's what parents are for, but
some parents can't afford that.
Well, not only can they not afford it, but the kid is at school.
Mm-hmm.
Some parents kind of don't take responsibility for their kids. So,
Exactly.
that kid can't learn if they're hungry. If they're sitting there hungry, that all they're thinking about is, I'm effing hungry. So you're not gonna teach them anything, and now you're gonna relegate that kid to being, all right, you're gonna be trailer park trash just like your mom and dad, and because you're not gonna get a decent education, and you're not gonna be able to perform a decent job in society. So yeah. While I might normally lean to the right on issues, I'm like, yeah, school lunches, dude, you need it. Or just for those brains to have a chance.
Hold on, Steve knows what I got to do here.
Mm-hmm. Something he's doing with a French guy. Anyways, while we have him off to the side for the moment, I think you guys remember from a week or two back, I was talking about putting my stuff up on Royal Road and Scribble Hub. Well, I got the first round of stuff done. I did the first one I did was my
Sorry about that.
first one I did was my Storyland Chronicles, and that that actually went over pretty good. I got some nice thank yous when it was all done, and most those all came from Scribble Hub, but I got a pretty decent amount of views, and you could tell that people were definitely reading it. And then I put up the first chapter of Magefall on just Royal Road right now, mostly because Scribble Hub's a pain in the butt to post to, but I put the first chapter up on Royal Road, and it's already getting a lot of traffic, which is surprising because when I ran it past test readers initially, they kicked it back hard, and then I put it up here on Royal Road, and they're like, yeah, we like it. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a guy I'm dealing with in France. He doesn't sprek in English.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a nice guy, but he'd be so cool to be on the vlog of many things, but he doesn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, Tom, besides that for Tabletop Tapper, and you gonna do your minis on Tabletop Tapper or anything special?
Well, no, I just did I called it the Endless Vlog, inspired by Endless Quest.
Real quick, I watched that. You, my man, will be an utter fool, and I'm calling you an utter fool if you do not make that live as a thing. That was so interesting to watch.
Did I not make it live?
You don't know. It's not. Well, when I saw it, it was unlisted. I think you were kind of like a little nervous about putting it.
Yeah,
like an Endless Quest book, but for video. And
it's okay. I thought I made it live. I shared it with a bunch of people who were Star Frontiers fans because it's a Star Frontiers adventure.
I enjoyed it.
And yes, I got some other feedback like that. No, clearly I need to make it live. So yeah, that's coming out. I talked to Chat or Gemini, I'm not sure which, and got some ideas to, you have to make a flow chart. You got to make a flow chart.
You got to have your flow chart. That's the storyline chart.
And so I've put a bunch of things on there, and I'm like, all right, this connects to this. This is part of this. This would be part of this storyline. And then I've got to. Then you have to write a script for each of those little videos, and then record it all. And it's a ton of work. It's a ton of work. But
you're gonna draw so many people to your freaking channel because it's interactive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll be the big. I'm gonna be
it would boost views. It would generate a lot of views, especially if you go through it multiple times. To like you got to a dead end where you were forced to.
I didn't go to a dead end. I flipping was killed.
No, you never get killed in that. You get beat up by security.
I died.
You died.
I died.
Oh,
where's that chapter ending?
I died.
I don't remember that. I don't remember putting that in there.
Okay, real quick. As a viewer,
okay,
what I experienced was you enter a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Okay. But at the end of the video, and the video is very short, which is very good. I'm glad you did that. You don't want to like sit someone for 20 minutes, listen to you talk. Very brief, set the situation, and then the video ends. But there are all the placards of what you get to choose as to what your decision is. And then you make your decision, and then you come on and you kind of,
and that clicks you to the next video, and all those other videos are unlisted.
Yeah, where did you get that idea? Because that is so original. Like, I want to steal it for D&D. Game. I mean, I just don't got the time.
Years ago, I tried writing an Endless Quest adventure, as a magazine adventure, and put it in the Frontier Explorer. And I put in their provisions. All right, so you're now in combat with this NPC. Here's their stats. Go ahead and roll it out by yourself, and then go to the next thing. And so I've already done that once. It was like a police procedural. You were a Star Law agent and you'd gotten bushwhacked. And so now you're locked in this trunk and you don't have your equipment and you're on this ship. The bad guys, the quasi pirates are, the ship gets into trouble and you get your chance to escape. And so I did that already. And I never got any really good feedback on that from the people who read the magazine.
Because you didn't have a reach with the magazine, Tom. This right here, I'm sorry. I rarely get amped up like this excitement with something someone does online, because most of the time it's like, oh, good idea. No, this is freaking cool. Like, I literally sat there and I was like, wait a minute here.
And after I do chapter 2, because the story's not done.
Yeah.
You got to go to chapter 2. And, so it's kind of Rogues of White Light. I've been kicking this around and I just thought, let's do an Endless Quest book, but do it as a vlog.
Yes. Very well done.
Fortunately, I don't have the money to trademark Endless Vlog, but,
but you can go ahead and see it's available in Gmail, get the email grabbed up, and then create a special YouTube channel called The Endless Vlog.
Well,
or something close to it, or something like that. Because I'll tell you right now, I like Star Frontiers, okay, but it's nothing that I'd like to play every day because I'm more of a Gamma World guy.
Right.
Because even whether or not you agree with it or not, Gamma World is better than Star Frontiers.
You can do it for Gamma World. You can do it for basic D&D.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's so fluid. And if you had a channel dedicated to it, then you could have dedicated, as your channel subs grow, dedicated like a fantasy-based one, whatever. Yeah. But I think you figured out those flow charts. It's like, me and Steve writes sci-fi, I write fantasy. We'd have to do the same thing with our storylines. I mean, they become spider. It's like Voldemort's webs that I used to make.
Right.
Yeah. You've seen those. I mean, it's just these gigantic.
Well, the other thing you want to do is you want to conserve on work. So if you're being caught by security, you just want to use the same ending.
Yeah.
Multiple storylines.
Sure.
If you go into the decision chain, it's going to get you caught by security. You want to use the same ending. Yeah. And so there's multiple endings where you're caught by security. You're going to be beaten, questioned under tell-all, which in the setting, after you answer 3 questions, it knocks you unconscious. And that's just so players don't just inject somebody with tell-all and ask them 100 questions.
Yeah.
And then you wake up stripped of your gear. You still have your clothes and ID, but you wake up in an unsavory part of the space station. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, maybe I should take that data entry job. That's what the character wanted to avoid. And
it's just an innovative idea.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I had some other feedback from some editors and authors who have supported the magazine with their work, with their volunteerism. And I thought I had made it live. It completely slipped my mind with all. It
was unlisted when you shared it with me.
I just checked.
Okay.
I will be making that live on the Star Frontiers Alive and Well Facebook page.
So. But yeah, so you know what? Go out, check Tom's channel, Tabletop Taproom. Steve, what is the name of your channel again?
Just Author Stephen Lake.
Author Stephen Lake. Simple as that. Email down below is Vlog of Many Things. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, feedback, mockings, requests for burning one of us alive at the stake. Which we had an email last week asking for me and Eric to be tied to the same
people who want that is very, very small.
Oh, we got one. Wants me and Eric specifically, not Glenn, because Glenn's not an asshole, as the guy said, but he said, take me and Eric and bind us to a big, thick wooden stake and burn us at the stake. I responded to their email and said, thank you for your feedback. We'll be sure to read your comment on the live stream.
You should have emailed him. Tom wants to know why you left him out.
Well, the only thing that disappointed me about it is that, I understand feedback and I'm happy to take it, but there's certain kinds of feedback we just can't take.
Yeah. Well,
unless Eric wants to volunteer to be burned at the stake. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I mean, if Eric's willing to take one for the team on the vlog of many things, Eric, if you're watching this,
I mean, if that individual wants to confess to all his crimes that we're aware of,
that we're aware of, because we know,
you know,
who he
I
is.
consider
One or
pouring
two people.
gasoline on myself and lighting myself on fire.
That's right.
Consider
You're
it.
safe. No gas is needed, Tom, by you. I guarantee you that, because that ain't gonna ever happen.
Yeah, no, he's such an
But
arrogant douche.
But karma visits people in different ways.
Yeah, and watching his legal difficulties.
Yeah. And if we're ever in Wisconsin together, I'll take you to a nice cheese shop that just opened up. And with that comment, ladies
Wine
and
with that
gentlemen,
cheese,
wine with that cheese.
or a little cheese with that wine. I think it is.
Yeah. Well, everybody, Eric, she's got Eric Tenkar in my head now. Steve,
Yes.
Tom, thank you for coming on today.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm actually going to be loading up my car with cardboard and taking it to the recycler. So I have excitement right after this video. Trust me, I'd much
Yay.
rather sit here for another hour, but the recycler closes at 4.
Aw.
I got to pick my wife up. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming on the vlog of many things today.
All right,
Thanks.
it's good to
We'll
be
be
here.
back. We'll be back this Thursday, and Thursday 8 p.m. Eric Tenkar will be there. Tom should be there. Tom might want to double check the squirrels, get them fed, make sure the squirrels are nice and happy for your wheel. And we'll see about what happened. Hope your wife is doing well, Tom. And we will see you guys all Thursday. All right.
All right.
All right. Catch you again later, guys. Thank you in the chat too. Matt, see you in about 10 days. Talk to you guys later.
Yep.